Oh, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for sharing your time with myself and all the fantastic speakers who went before me and all the fantastic speakers coming after me. I'm here to talk to you about Pirates Incorporated. My name is Nikola, and I work for Poseidon Labs, which used to be called Manta Labs until very recently. It's a company dedicated to bringing privacy to the blockchain via zero knowledge proofs. Um, and my job there is to explore new frontiers, which in less technical terms means exploring what happens when you mix blockchain and games. My background has absolutely nothing to do with blockchain. I'm the person who's the most novice from everyone here. I was absolutely clueless about blockchain programming 4 weeks ago when I came here. I'm still pretty much clueless, but thanks to Flo, Flynn, and many of the other people here, I'm starting to make my way there. On the other hand, I have some pretty solid experience in building traditional video games. I've worked on some high-flying titles like Assassin's Creed, Minecraft, PUBG, and a couple of others. And the game that I'm going to talk to you about is called Pirates Incorporated, as I already mentioned, and it's a fun, fully on-chain ZKP-empowered strategic sailing MMO game in an endless ocean. Now, that's a lot of words, so I want to break them down for you. So fun, because we want to we want to build a game that's actually fun, enjoyable, and playable, and something that you can go back to when you want to have some fun. Now, a lot of games in the crypto space are currently feel like just a diminished version of Pokemon when you collect some NFTs and then you brag about it to your friends. Some of them are Ponzi schemes. We're trying to build an actual game. It's fully on chain. We're not gonna have any centralized authority whatsoever. ZKP empowered on one hand because this is what the company does, and on the other because ZKP gives us an amazing feature that I'm gonna talk about in a second. Strategic because the game is about making big deliberate decisions that you have to plan well in advance. You don't participate in the action um, immediately. It's not like StarCraft or League of Legends when you have to have 100 actions per minute. You have to think about your moves well in advance of taking them. It's an MMO because everyone shares the same universe, and it's an endless ocean because you have an infinite procedurally generated world. Let me set a settings for you. This is an actual screenshot of what we have so far. Imagine that you just inherited a ship from a late family member during the golden age of piracy, and you're living in a world that's an infinite procedurally generated archipelago of different islands, different ports, very different parts of the world, allowing you to do different stuff. So owning a ship in that world basically makes you part of the 1%. You're one of the richest people in the world, but you're absolutely clueless about what you want to do with that ship. You can take whatever career path you can think of. You could become a fisherman and just hire some people, go fish, sell that fish to other players, make a living that way. You could be a trader and hunt for the best prices in the world. You could be a pirate and just hunt others. But as free as you are to pick your own profession, you are as limited in making sure that this is your profession because you're not going to be able to do other things so well. And this is a key element of our game design. We want to force players to engage with each other by either fighting or cooperating. If you decide to be a pirate, then you're going to need some food in order to feed your crew members. And you can get that either by hunting the fishermen or by buying the fish off of them. So you have to make your decision smart. Now, here's how the game will play out. You get a crew. You make sure that your crew matches your intentions, because if you hire some pacifistic, humble fishermen and you ask them to attack enemy players, they're not going to be happy with you. They're likely to abandon ship, steal from you, desert, and you're going to be lost at sea. So instead, make sure that you pick the proper crew for your intentions. You got to build a ship. And again, you have to make sure that you get the proper ship. Now, both crews and NFTs, both crews and crew members and ships are actual NFTs that you can hire, which essentially means minting, or trade on the open market. But in order to get any of these things, you need information. Information is the core component of our game. Information is scarce. Players have to fight over it in order to progress. What that means is, if you want to get the best ship in the game, you can't just press a button and build it. You have to find the blueprints for it. You have to find the materials. In order to find the materials, you have to know where you can get the materials. And that requires someone to explore the world, find a forest containing the best lumber in the world that allows you to build that particular ship. This also opens the door for many different player professions. So, for example, if I'm a pirate and I want to hunt some other enemy players, I will not know absolutely anything about them. I wouldn't know how big their ship is, how many guns there are, how durable it is. And the only way I can do that is by spying on them. So that means that I can just pay someone to go spy the enemy for me. Similarly, if I want to explore the world, I can pay someone else to go explore the world and give me the map. Or, because there's no internet in our world, if I send my ship on a mission and I want to cancel it, I can't just do that. I have to send another ship to chase after mine. Hopefully, that other ship is faster than mine, and they can relay the message. Now, here's the core gameplay element. You have to plan your mission. You gather your crew. You tell them what exactly you want them to do. You have as many parameters as needed to describe whatever the mission is, and you send them off. If you pick the proper crew, the proper ship, and the proper parameters for the mission, hopefully you get a successful result, and your AI will deliver. Once this happens, you get to share your resources with the rest of your crew, and you better pay them fairly, because if you don't, they're gonna be annoyed with you. They might steal, they might desert, they might abandon ship. Now, the demo that I have right now is a bit limited, but it shows that all of the foundations are there, and there's plenty of room for us to iterate over. Now, I have this ship that's connected to the blockchain, even though you can't see it right now. I'm gonna send it on a mission. Here's my crew. Here's my resources. I'm sending it on an exploration mission. This is the fog of war, the area of the world which you have no knowledge over. As soon as this ship enters that part of the world, it's revealed. And I'm gonna send it to another one just now. If I had two clients, you would have been able to see how the other client also sees this ship moving. The reason that I don't have that is because my laptop couldn't handle having two clients and a video recording at the same time. So we found a port there, and we can go trade with it if we want to. The main missions are there, they're just very basic right now, so they're not as interesting to look at. So why are we building this? Well, obviously, my company is a blockchain company, so we believe in blockchain, but more than that, we believe in blockchain and games fusing together. There are many features that we take for granted in the blockchain world that are unheard of in traditional video game development, like the fact that you can hide information so well from players and they're not allowed to just go to YouTube and figure out all the best tactics in the world, or the fact that you can have self-governance. If I want to start a pirate guild in this world, I and my friends can enact a new smart contract that says that every pirate in the world has to hunt an enemy vessel and deposit 20% of the plunder to the treasury of the guild. By doing that, I get access to a special port that has the best ship builder in the world. And if I don't, I get expelled from the guild, and there's hope that my sales have a lot of wind in them, because otherwise my fellow pirates are going after me. This also opens the door for having an actual social metaverse, because people would have to plan in advance. They have to forge alliances and make sure that all their plans will not be destroyed by someone else trying to achieve the same thing as them. We see a huge opportunity in this. As someone said before me, blockchain games are still in their infancy. As an example, Dark Forest, which is probably the game that everyone here is aware of, in the last round, according to their website, they only got 1,800 players, which is so little. As an example, that's a game that I'm familiar with because I used to play it years ago. It's called Clan Wars. It's very basic. It's installed in the browser, and it's got over 250K players. And it's just one game from the same company building uh, many games very similar to that. So they have a medieval type of game, they have a space game, they have a mafia game, they have a beauty game, and they all play exactly the same. They're somewhat similar to what I described, but at the same time, much more basic in game design. They feel like Skinner boxes, and yet they get 250,000 players for something that's not better than Dark Forest in any way. So what I'm saying is, if you want to get more people into blockchain and in games built over blockchain in general, we need to get more traditional gamers to believe that the blockchain is not this Ponzi scheme thing that people should run away from, and it's just another tech that they don't really need to care about. It's just something that they interact without actually seeing, just like they wouldn't see a server running on Unreal Engine. So in order to ship this, we need more people because so far I've been working on this entirely by myself. And honestly, it's been very tiresome. So if any of these picture interest, we're hiring, so please talk to me. We're also looking for funding. As I mentioned, the company is trying to spin this out as a separate branch. We are very well funded in general, but this needs to be its own thing, so it requires its own financing. So if you're looking for money to spare, finally, hopefully in the next couple of months, my goal is to have this done by early next summer. Of course, if we get the proper funding and people. Um, so please help me out. Talk to me now, later, whatever. Reach out over email. And thank you so much for your time.